Hey there, Pokemon trainers, Super Nerd Daniel here again. Oh, Clair, you salty, salty gym leader, you. Clair is the gym leader of Blackthorn City in the Johto-based Pokemon games, specializing in Dragon-type Pokemon, and frankly, if I were to do a top 5 biggest sore losers in the Pokemon games, Clair would definitely be high on the list. Well, she would still be behind Lysandra, who loses a battle and then tries to pull a murder-suicide with an ancient super weapon, but trust me, Clair would still be an easy number 2. When you beat her and supposedly earn the Rising Badge, she refuses, saying that despite you clearly beating her in battle, you're still not worthy of challenging the Pokemon League. And so she sends you to a cave on the north end of Blackthorn to complete a Dragon Masters challenge, and after you pass, because, well, let's face it, you're the protagonist, of course you're gonna pass it, Clair still won't give you the Rising Badge, only relenting when the Dragon Master, who just happens to be Clair's grandfather, threatens to inform Clair's cousin about her stubborn behavior. And this probably wouldn't be such a big deal if Clair's cousin was anybody except for Lance, the Pokemon League champion. Over the years, some people have wondered why Clair would act this way, why she would refuse to grant you the badge that you earned in battle, and make you jump through hoops just to get it, and only finally confer the badge when threatened with the idea of Lance hearing about it. But honestly, for me, it's pretty easy to see why. Wouldn't you act this way if you were in her position? I mean, think about it. Clair already has to be under enough pressure as it is, being the 8th gym leader in Johto, the final test before the Pokemon League, so it's already expected that she be a top-of-the-line trainer. Add to that the fact that she's part of this great Dragon Master lineage, and she may also be a Draconian. I don't know, that depends on whether you believe certain other theories. But for sure, part of this Dragon Master lineage, at least the 3rd generation of aspiring Dragon Masters that may actually extend further back than even Clair's grandfather. She clearly has a family legacy to live up to. She even boasts that she's the world's best Dragon Master as a means to intimidate opposing trainers and build herself up, but is she trying to convince you, her opponent? Or herself? Because despite being a gym leader and obviously quite the formidable trainer, we find out eventually from Clair herself that even she hasn't passed the Dragon Master Challenge, which is why she's so flabbergasted that a mere child could do it on their first try. And really, because of that, she doesn't really have the right to refer to herself as the world's best Dragon Master, because according to the test of a trainer's merits set up by her own family, she hasn't proven herself worthy of such a title. And let's think back to Clair's cousin Lance for a second. He was a former member of the Elite Four, who, somewhere in the events between the first 2 Pokemon generations, graduated to the champion of the league itself after the disappearance of Red. Lance is feared and revered as one of the strongest trainers, not just one of the best dragon trainers, no, one of the strongest trainers, period, on the face of the earth. Lance, being a part of this same Dragon Master lineage, obviously would have already passed the all-important ritual, which is mostly about knowing to treat your Pokemon with love and respect rather than using them for tools of power. The point I'm trying to make here is that Lance has clearly succeeded where Clair has failed. Clair is a gym leader and a tough opponent, yes, but Lance is a former Elite Four member, and now he's a champion. He's the trainer to beat. Lance has passed the Dragon Master Challenge, but Clair has tried, time and again, and failed each time. Even their teams can be compared in the same way. Whereas Clair has 3 Dragonairs on her team, Lance has 3 fully evolved Dragon Knights, as well as some other draconic Pokemon at his disposal. And up until the events of Gold, Silver, and Crystal, Clair claims that her Dragon Pokemon could even hold their own against the Elite Four, with her only known loss up to that point being against, you guessed it, Cousin Lance. Clair is a young woman who is not only living under the constant pressure to live up to her family name and has to carry the weight of her lineage, but also has to carry the responsibilities of being a gym leader. And on top of all this, she's clearly living in her cousin's shadow, trying so hard to establish herself as something beyond discount Lance. With all this pressure and stress and pent-up frustration building up inside of her, the last thing she ever thought would happen is another loss on her record. And this one, not to her much revered cousin, the champion Lance, but to a small little child. Wouldn't that just make you the saltiest person alive? I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not necessarily condoning Clair's behavior. She was still an incredibly sore loser whose conduct was unbecoming of a gym leader, but obviously these actions aren't just out of nowhere. There was a reason for them, and that reason, I feel, is years and years of pressure and frustration created by the thought of not living up to her family's expectations. And perhaps not living up to her own expectations either. But those are just my thoughts. Why do you think Clair is so salty? Let me know in the comments below. Give this video a like if you liked it, and subscribe for more Pokemon videos like this in the future. See you next time, Pokemon trainers. Super Nerd Daniel, out!